This moth, relying on her youth and beauty, flew into the air to tease the flame. She knew the danger of this thing and deliberately kept at a safe distance. She twisted and repeatedly teased the flame. The flame was tormented by desire, eager to embrace her. However, the moth ran too fast. No matter how hard it tried, it couldn't touch her. Finally, the teased candle was almost burned out. The moth was having a great time. She landed on the glasses and leisurely danced. But she didn't know the flame had already fallen madly in love with her. It actually jumped over from the air. The glasses frame beneath her feet was instantly burned to ashes. This could lead to a fire. The moth was still playing with fire nearby, lifting her skirt and bouncing around, showing off her charm. The flame was in the prime of youth. His hot heart made him rush over instantly. When he reached out his palm, the moth finally felt afraid. In her panic, she fell from high up. The flame, as a fanatical pursuer, naturally chased closely behind. At the critical moment, the moth opened a roll of paper and pressed the small flame underneath. After a cloud of smoke, the flame seemed to have gone out. The moth regained her confidence, pulled out a mirror from her bosom, and began to groom herself, but she didn't notice the darkness spreading beneath her feet. Obviously, the flame was gathering strength. The next second, it broke out of its cocoon. The moth could only continue to flee. When passing an ink bottle, the flame actually evolved into a blue spirit, more powerful than before. The moth hastily grabbed a weapon to resist, not realizing she was holding matches. Through her mistaken operation, soon an entire box of matches was ignited. The moth hurriedly fled upward, not noticing the spider web behind her. Seeing the flame growing bigger and bigger, she could only call her boyfriend for help. It turned out he had just been focused on eating and ignored his girlfriend's feelings, which led Miss Moth to tease the flame. Seeing his girlfriend in danger, Boy Moth rushed over recklessly and crashed into the matchbox, actually extinguishing the burning flame. But soon the flame rose into the air again, repeatedly slapping his bottom. In pain, he ran back while screaming. At this moment, Miss Moth was in critical danger. Boy Moth had to react quickly. Seeing a cup of water nearby, he pushed it down directly. It landed on the flame's head, producing white smoke. Boy Moth was happy, thinking the flame had been extinguished, but in less than 2 seconds, it burned again. He hastily tried to continue pouring water, not realizing this was a bottle of gasoline. The flame instantly magnified dozens of times. The situation was completely out of control. Now they had to seek outside help. Boy Moth pushed down a box of small balls, making the bell ring loudly. Companions who were eating were instantly attracted. The situation here was obvious at a glance. The moths quickly searched for firefighting equipment. This seemed to be a musical instrument, which could be used as a water pipe when placed in a pool. Meanwhile, Boy Moth tried to rescue his girlfriend first, but it obviously wasn't that easy. Soon the firefighting device was connected. Thick streams of water sprayed from 3 holes. The flames around Miss Moth were instantly suppressed. Other firefighting tools were also in place one after another. The moths were dedicated, not hesitating to block leaks with their bodies to ensure the firefighting work proceeded smoothly. As the firefighting work proceeded in an orderly manner, the out-of-control flames became smaller and smaller. At this time came a hat filled with lots of water. The flames on the ground tried to tear it open. The water flow directly extinguished it. Meanwhile, Boy Moth finally rescued his girlfriend. When they reached a safe place and looked at the completely extinguished flame, Miss Moth let out a deep sigh of relief. Then she prepared to give her boyfriend a reward. But